Kirk Cousins, I know, was just talking about yesterday being all in, getting more wins, blah, 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 football, football, football. So what? How was that man at chugging a beer?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that you can put past Kirk. He did go to Michigan State. So, he was at Michigan State for 5 years. And I feel like when you go to a big state school like that, that's almost a prereq for graduation. You have to be able to chug beers.
Yeah, I'm hoping so because, listen, I assumed the best in Aaron Rodgers as a guy who has spent so much time in the Midwest, obviously went to college out on the West Coast and such, but was a little let down there. So, Kyle, hopefully you can get Kirk on the right path in this one. As far as you now, we mentioned you just signed the big deal, which is awesome, and you do it now in kind of a different position. The last time around, the last deal you signed, you weren't a dad yet. You're a father now. When you first get to Minnesota, you've got guys like Jim Kleinsaucer who are finishing out their careers there.
Saucy.
What's it like to be the elder statesman around the building now as you guys load up for the 2019 season?
It's definitely different because these last 9 years have gone so quick. And to me, I still feel like that 21-year-old rookie. And I'm not really sure at what point these last 9 years flew by, and now I'm the elder statesman, and I'm the one married with 3 kids, and all the younger guys are looking up to me as a veteran leader. So it's definitely a different situation this time, but it happens quick. As you guys know, life happens fast, and now here we are 9 years into the NFL, and I've been extremely blessed and fortunate to have had the opportunity now to sign my 3rd contract here in Minnesota. And like I mentioned a couple of times, the most important thing for us through this whole process was to stay in Minnesota. It's home for my family and I, and we couldn't be more appreciative of this organization, the Wilf family, Rick Spielman, Coach Zimmer, Rob Brzezinski, and everybody that got this done for me and my family.
Talking to Kyle Rudolph, Vikings tight end, signed a new deal, as he said, his 3rd contract there. And it certainly can be different as time goes on. As you mentioned, 9 years, and all of a sudden you were in a position where there was a thought, could he end up somewhere else? You guys sign or draft a tight end in the 2nd round. What kind of were your thoughts from the mental side of this of, man, I know I want to be here, but this business may take me somewhere else?
No, definitely. I think for me personally, for the first time in my career, I had an off season with a little bit of an uncertainty. And for me, each and every year prior, I knew kind of where my contract stood. I knew that I was going to be here the following year. And this off season, that wasn't necessarily the case. Now, throughout that whole process, I don't know if there was necessarily a time where I thought, wow, this is pretty real. I might not be here next year. And for me as a player, having an agent in Brian Murphy and Cam Hahn at Athletes First, who I trust, and I can just turn the business side over to them, it allowed me to just come here each and every day and participate in OTAs and off-season workouts and not worry about the business side. So, I've been extremely fortunate to have people that I trust in my corner, which allowed me to just worry about football, get better as a player this off-season, and I knew the business would take care of itself.
And now we take care of the business on the field, as Kyle Rudolph is with us, Vikings tight end. Clearly the thinking was in Minnesota last year, Kyle, that maybe we were one player away. And that's why you get the big deal for Kirk Cousins, $84 million guaranteed. It's amazing how fast that's no longer the top deal, right? In guaranteed money, how quickly this has escalated to the benefit of everybody. What is the feeling now going into year 2 in Kirk Cousins? What didn't work, not specifically with Kirk, but with the team in general last year, and what needs to be better for you guys to get back where you were when you were thinking about potentially playing in the Super Bowl in your home stadium after the 2017 season?
Well, I think in 2017, we established an identity as a football team, and that was a football team that on offense, we ran the football. We put ourselves in favorable down and distance. We were extremely efficient on 3rd downs, and we were great in the red zone. And that was a formula for us on offense that, when paired with the best defense in football, was extremely effective for us and led to a 13-3 regular season. Last year we got away from that. We didn't run the ball as well as we would have liked to. We weren't great on 3rd downs, and we were just in the middle of the pack in the red zone. So we know what the identity has to be for our offense and for our football team. And this offseason, it's just been dedicated to getting that identity back and getting back to where we were as a football team in 2017.
Talking to Kyle Rudolph with us, Minnesota Vikings tight end in the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Rudy, one of the other things that's kind of come up through the course of this offseason has been that renewed conversation or whispers about an 18-game regular season, doing away with a couple of the preseason games. As a player and as a guy who you mentioned has been through the rigors of it now for 9 seasons, where are you at and where are most players at on that idea?
I think the biggest thing, it would be interesting how it would lay out. I think if you're adding 2 games to the regular season, there would have to be another bye week. So how they would lay the schedule out over the course of, if you get rid of 2 preseason games and add 2 regular season games, we're still a week short. But if you add an extra week off, to me, I think, it would be possible if you added 2 weeks and just added 1 game. Then everyone gets to play a neutral site game. It allows teams to have the opportunity to go play in London, to go play in Mexico City. We talk about how important it is to grow our game internationally. Well, that would provide a great opportunity. We play 17 games. You get an extra week off. We get rid of 2 preseason games, and everyone can play a neutral site game. So in the NFL, if it makes money, it makes sense. So we'll figure it out and try to find a way to, do what's best for the players, but also for the league.